Welcome to the second half of KISS Community Connections, 103.1 KISS FM. Phyllis Jones, still your host, and we are still talking to May, and we're talking to Tiger, and we're talking about getting things done for our felons. You know, before we took a break, and a little before that, we were talking about a stand down for felons. And I know the perfect place to have it at. We need to organize it, and you know, this can become a statewide thing.
Yes, it can.
It can be statewide. It won't just be right here. It can be a statewide thing, right? Because Texas across the state of Texas is, you know, we have issues with having a high rate of felons. Right. And, you know, now that they're going to not use these private prisons anymore.
Thank God.
That's true. Yes, that's true. You're right. You're right about that. But that's going to also cause another issue that you can jump into and help that gap.
Right.
You know, and help that gap from that. So that's going to be good. But I have a question that's dear to Tiger, but I'm going to ask you. We talked about men felons, and we talked about females. What about the ones that are either lesbians, homosexuals,
transgender,
LGBTQIA? Okay. Because that's just like being African American and a felon, being LGBTQIA and a felon is also a double sword.
Absolutely.
So where do you meet them at? Same way or slightly different?
Same way.
Okay.
LGBT, lesbians, homosexuals,
yeah, they
are children of God.
Yeah.
And people need to stop demonizing them.
Okay,
Amen.
Right.
Because I actually would trust a lesbian, a homosexual, or a transgender before I would a straight person. Because if they're your friend, they're your friend.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so glad that it's changing where they are being treated as humans.
That's right. Cool.
The same ideology that was used on slaves are now used on the transgender people, the homosexuals, and the lesbians. And I just don't see it either in reality or biblical.
Right.
I just pray, you know, that they find their center as I pray we find our center. Because we are God's children. Yeah. A lot of people say there's not a choice. They say that it's a choice they made. I don't believe that. I believe it's genetically.
Right.
I mean, I'm born black and I'm going to stay black. So the same thing go with a homosexual.
Right.
And I don't see any difference treating them any different.
Okay, so Tiger, may I ask you?
Yes.
How were you treated?
How I treated by what? I'm stupid. Say that again, Phyllis.
Okay, I asked May, the LGBTQIA community. So I got all the letters. I got them all their letters.
You got them all right.
They better not add another one.
Absolutely.
Don't add another one.
Hey, we got a meeting at 1 o'clock. We
can't use all the alphabet.
Okay.
Leave some left over. But what I'm saying is when you got out.
When I got out?
Yes.
How was I treated?
Yeah, you had a double sword. You had a double edge. You're African American,
right?
And you're transgender, well, bisexual, and homosexual, to lesbian.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're in the LGBTQIA family,
right?
Woo. Okay. Well, so were you treated any differently when you got out because you had 2 strikes instead of just 1?
Well,
or 3? Or yeah.
Not really, because nowadays they accept you as you are, because that's. In prison, you're all, you know, that's all it is.
Right.
You know, and when you come out, I was really welcomed to Texas when I came, because, you know, I didn't stay in Michigan that long.
Right.
But when I got here, they treated me just like I was me, Tanisha Nash, you know what I'm saying? So that was absolutely amazing, and I appreciate everybody from Killeen. I went to the academy with the mayors, you know, Scott, Jose are my good buddies, you know, so they treated me with well kindness, and I appreciate it, and I absolutely really is gnawed with it, because God is so good, and I never thought that I could be accepted like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was really like still in shock. You know what I'm saying? And then after I graduated from the academy, it really got thick. I started going to meetings, and then of course a certain person had me at all types of
I don't know who she's talking about.
Oh, stop it. All types of learning centers and seminars, millionaire seminars. I'm like, okay, I'm loving this, So hey, it was absolutely amazing, and my life have changed so much that I really have I really have changed my life tremendously, and I thank God, and I thank a lot of Phyllis and my mom, of course.
Somebody's at your door.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. That's the second co-host, right? Yeah, Sonia Wren, and especially Second Chance. Second Chance team. We have amazing team, and they really has been behind us. And it's just been great. It's just been great. I think they're in the back.
Cockroaches.
So I'm really amazed that your organization is like our organization to hook up, because I know everything what to do. All you have to do is get on a roster in the prison,
right?
And that's where we're going to start first, because that roster, I got to make one phone call, and once they approve it, the parole, they come right out, and the people will correspond with you. It's like communication, and we could do this because I needed help.
Yes, glad to help. I'm glad.
Because between the two of you, you're making a change. You're making a change together. Could be a bigger change.
Well, we have to. The change has to be made.
Yes.
And it has to start somewhere.
And we need to change not only the change with felons coming out.
Right.
We need to change the community's mindset.
Of course.
We need to change that mindset. Because the stand down for felons. Mm-hmm. I like that word. Okay.
So the stand down for felon, you're going to do that? Because
it's going to be done.
We all want to be involved.
It's going to be done.
Absolutely.
It's already written.
1 o'clock in the Democrats.
You see, it's already written. It's already written. It's already written. So it's done.
Okay.
But we'll bring out doctors there. Some doctors I know.
Doctors
will gladly be on, right there, letting them know everything's going on. And that's to me, it'd be a twofold thing. That's one, a community awareness.
Of course,
it's
community need awareness.
There you go. Yes, so it'll be community awareness and also support for them, because it'll be something. First of all, that's never been done in Texas anyway. It hasn't been done. If it had been done, I would know about it already, because our criminal justice chair for NAACP, Dr. Watkins, would have known about it already. Right. And like I say, he's a 20-year retiree from Huntsville Prison. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he did that for 20 years, and he did 20 years in the military. So I was like, whoa, I thought that was a lot of work there. But he would have known about it. And also, he will gladly come down. He said he would actually, if there was an event, he would come and lend whatever assistance he has. And I told him he has a lot of up there because he was the warden. You know what I mean? I said, so he brings a lot of information with him, and now he still works on consult. So he would also come and share whatever he had to share, but the stand down would be great. It would be good. Like I said, be good for the community.
Right. Yes, it would.
Yeah.
And we would reclaim our future.
There you go.
Exactly.
This is my thoughts about it. Mm-hmm. We have lost a generation of children.
Yeah.
And we need to reclaim this generation before we lose them.
Right. And absolutely, that's what I was going to say also. I'm also collaborating with a young lady. She has a TV show with the youth. They're going to be coming here to Killeen in 17.
Right.
Her name's Jay, and her husband, they're going to deal with all the youths. Mm-hmm. They're gonna start from the juveniles and try to correct them before they even get to the step of the prisons. So there's a lot of things going on coming up in 17, especially
good.
My movie comes out in 17.
That's good. We got all that. But May, the youngest person, felons that are under 18, do you assist them? Or do they have to be 18?
No.
Or something else program for them?
No certain age limit.
Okay, good.
No certain age
okay.
limit. But if a child is under 18 and he's a felon, he needs a mental evaluation more than anything else.
Right.
And that's one thing I dislike about the Texas penal system, is especially if you're black, you go to prison, but they should be going to mental hospitals.
Yeah.
Because we as a people know we have lived with nothing so long, we can do anything with something.
Right.
And these kids has been given more this generation than any generation. Exactly. And they still want to try to sell drugs in a town that's not big as this room and selling to each other.
You're right. Yeah.
And as a Temple, Texas, not too many years ago, the police chief was bringing the drugs in and having the boys sell it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things like that has to stop.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're killing ourselves, we're killing each other, you know?
And by the time we get drugs, it's poison anyway.
Right.
Because
we don't put it here, though.
I know, we don't have the machines to bring it.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying, when it gets to the black neighborhood,
it's already,
it's been cut so many times that it's poison.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're selling each other poison. And look at the guns now that's in the black neighborhood.
Yeah, that we didn't bring into the neighborhood.
Yeah, we don't make guns. They don't come from.
What you gonna buy? Guns with food stamps?
Right. But absolutely now you can walk around with your gun. You know?
Yeah, you can.
The laws is what you can go in the stores, you can go in hospitals, you can go.
And show you the mentality of the leaders of Texas.
That's true.
That is about the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Is.
Put them on school camp.
Well, they can't do it now. Right now, not on campuses yet. On college campuses, yes.
College camp.
But your public school system so far,
no.
We don't need that because we'd have teachers who take.
I hope everyone that can vote will vote in November.
Right, absolutely. We need your vote.
Yes, but also to caveat on that, people say that my vote don't count.
Yes, it does.
No, the question becomes then why is Texas fighting so bad to take it away from you?
That's right. And we have these idiots in office, and I'm going to say this on the air. We have idiots in office there because we didn't vote. Here, a man.
You're right. No,
get off of
you know what?
You're fine.
You're right. But you're right.
Speak your mind.
But the problem with some of the idiots we say that we put in that are in Austin in office, we don't email them. We don't call them. I will email them in a heartbeat and ask, why did you vote on so-and-so, and demand an answer. And at the end of my sentence, I always put in there, you work for me, I don't work for you.
How many women has died from pregnancy? Since they closing down the
but see the other part.
Parenthood.
But the other part of that, where were we?
It had increased so much, death in pregnancy, since they closed down Planned
pregnancy clinics.
Yeah. And we just have to get out. We need to take care of each other. We are our brothers' keepers, no matter what we say.
We need to go to Austin. And I'll tell you this, next year in February, Texas Black Legislative Caucus has Legislative Lobby Day. We need to be there.
Right.
I'm there every 2 years. Every 2 years I'm there.
Well,
but we need to be
there. I'm there.
So. We need to be there, and we need to have I always tell everybody, bring an envelope with you with everything you're going to talk about. And when you see him, hey, how you doing? When you eat lunch with whatever, because we see they're all there. And they know we're going to talk to them, so they're ready. This is what I need to talk to you about right here. As I'm talking to you, I'm going to give you the notebook, the envelope to say what I'm talking about. So when you walk away from me, you still got my information that I want to talk to you about.
Right.
We need to start doing those things. We need to go down there and quit talking to them, yes, but talk to him with the same packet that you're talking about in hand to hand him here.
And people in Killeen, this is one instance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We didn't vote.
Right.
And let Ted Cruz in there. Then he goes to Washington, shut down the government. Look how many people in Fort Hood, Texas lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Was laid off.
Right.
We need to vote.
We need to vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like I said, people say,
and
my vote don't count either.
Guess who voted against military pay increases?
Yes, we know.
Ted Cruz, John Corman.
We know. They're such lovely people. But it goes back to I'll say once again, we need to email them. We need to call them on the phone. We need to go to their office.
Right.
We need to get on their nerves, and because they work for us, so we need to get on their nerves.
Right.
We need to just like they harass us or with all this other stuff. We need to turn the tables.
Yeah. But I know they are putting money after money into prison system, but yet want to take people off of Medicare and food stamps.
But
that is so stupid. Yeah. That is against the law of nature.
But see, that's something that we can change.
We can change.
We got to fight for it. We got to stand up.
That's it, and it's easy to do.
Yeah.
But we need to first
come together.
There you go.
Amen.
We need to reach out
yes.
and keep our children out of these prisons.
Mm-hmm.
We need to reach out and keep the drugs out of our neighborhood.
Yes.
The guns out of our neighborhood.
Yes.
But only we can do this if we fight.
Right.
We stand together.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. You two are going to have to come on again and finish this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Because I want to thank, I'll say Tiger, and I want to thank May for coming on this morning to talk about our felons and what we're going to be doing. Right now, we know we're going to do a fundraiser. We're going to do Operation Stand Down, which will also be a fundraiser too. And we're going to provide. We're going to we're going to work with Habitat to build houses for some of these people, for some of the people, because the houses are affordable that they build. They're pretty nice. I helped build some of them. It was quite fun. It was pretty cool. But anyway,
you need to invite the director on the show also.
I can do that. I can do that. I can do that.
I got a little plug with the city, so I'm gonna go and tell everybody.
We need to do that because together we can change things. Divided, we get conquered.
Right.
So it's time for us to come together as one and get things rolling and moving and changing and we're going to start today, especially with our felons. We need to fix that gap. We need to fix the gap. We need to make sure that the only gap there is the gap that they cause.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if they don't show up for something, we need to make sure that they didn't show up. Well, it was there for you. If you didn't come, that meant you weren't ready.
Right.
So we need to make it where if any pitfall there's any gap, they caused the gap, but everything was already there.
Exactly.
So I want to thank you two for coming on this morning.
Well, we absolutely thank you.
Really great.
And coming on the show and talking about what we need to do and where we need to go.
Where we need to do and where we need to go.
Yes.
And come together.
And community, you know what? We're going to do this. So
I have to pray for my city, our city back home, every day, all day. Because our city is, like you said, you have to vote.
Yes.
Flint, how did he get in there? You know what I mean? You have to vote.
You got to vote.
You sitting there drinking this water, and
killing your food.
Killing you. Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely, you have to get up and vote.
We do. But I want to thank everyone for listening to KISS Community Connections, 103.1 KISS FM. I want you to always remember, you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye now.